Okay, where are we in the last session? So we are working on shell scripting. Okay, so which is a bash, also called as a bash scripting. Now, the last session, which have gone through some introduction about the shell scripting. Okay, and how do we write the code? How do we execute it? Okay, and we have seen some very basics of the shell scripting, like how do you declare the variables? How do you read them? Okay, and how do you evaluate them? And we have started the control structures, like if conditions and the different types of if conditions, and what are all the operators available for numerical as well as the strings. Okay, so now today we'll see the loops, functions, and switch case, rest of all of them. Okay, so anybody, like who gone through some programming language, you must and should be knowing what is a loop, what is a switch, what is a if, what is a function. Okay, it's a basics actually. Okay, now the same concept is available in the scripting as well. Only thing is the syntax is different. Concept is absolutely same. There is no difference at all. Okay. So when I say learning a scripting or learning a programming, nothing but guys, the core functionalities will never change across any of the programming, any of the scripting. Okay. The variables, like the conditions, loops, they will be absolutely same across whichever the programming, whichever the scripting you take it. Okay. Their purpose is same. Only thing is the way which you represent is different. Okay, which is called syntax issues. Okay, so let's see what is the switch case. Okay, so typically the switch case, you might be remembered in the programming language. Okay, which is something like multiple this is kind of a replacement of nested if. Okay, you will write a switch case like this, switch. Okay, and you'll be having a choice, and you write something like in a curly braces, case 1. Okay, case 1, you do something. Okay, and then break. Got it? So this is how you write it. Finally, you will be having something called default. Okay, so if any of the cases is not executed, the default will be executed. Okay, so case 2, I'm just writing some echo wrong choice something. Okay, some draft syntax of C language or Java language, any of the language. This is how it contains. Okay, the same switch case has been implemented in the shell scripting with the name called case. Okay, we don't call it as a switch, we call it as a case here. Okay, now you will use the input called choice. Okay, and there is no braces and all. Use a keyword called in. Okay, then you write the cases. Okay, so you don't write the case called CAC and all. You directly write what you want to pass it. I want to pass 1. If so, if choice is 1, okay, assume like in a choice you are passing some parameter. Okay, so choice equal to 1. Okay, now it will come to 1 case. Okay, echo 1 case, something like that. Okay, and if you want to end the statement, right, instead of a break, it is double semicolon. Double semicolon, nothing but break. Okay, and similarly second case. Okay, now once you end with all the cases, right, then you put hashtag at this. Okay, you go say wrong choice. Okay, and the case will end with reverse of case, which is ISAC. ISAC, nothing but reverse of case, guys. See, can you read it in reverse? CAC case. So this is what a shell scripting syntax. Okay, this is a typical programming language syntax. Now let's try to implement a script for this, then you will understand much better. Shell scripts. Okay, now vi case.sh. An example for case statement. Okay, just writing a new script. Okay, echo enter a, read a, echo enter b, read b, echo enter choice. Okay, read choice. Right, then case dollar choice. okay, in if you pass choice add, okay, then what I'm going to do is total equal to expression dollar. I'm just doing a calculator one, okay, instead of nested if I'm doing it with this $b, okay, that's it, end this case, okay, and similarly do it for other cases. Minus multiplication, subtraction, equal, wrong choice, enter. Did you see the calci program? How is it is? It's that. That's it. Okay. Now try to execute this case.sh. Enter A 12. Enter B 13. I want to do the addition. Pass add. Okay. Sorry guys. I didn't printed the total value. Let's print the total value at the end. Echo total is $tot. Run this. 12, 13, add 25. 12, 13, okay, 1, subtraction, 11, okay, 12, 133, multiplication, 1596. So it's working fine, right? So this is what the case. So with the case, the advantage is you can write n number of cases. Right now written 3, okay. So whenever you have like this kind of requirements, you better go for the case instead of nested if. The same script we have seen as in the last session with the nested if you remember. These are the nested if one, right, with add, subtraction. So it is too cumbersome and it is difficult to write it, okay, and the performance will be degraded with the help of the with nested if, because it will check each and every condition, each and every line. But in case it is not the same way, what will happen, if the choice contains like a subtraction, it will directly jump into this case. It contains multiplication, directly jumps into here. It will never check the prior ones, okay. So this is how the case will work in the shell script, okay. Next, once case is done, then loops. Okay, I hope you guys might be aware of the loops in your C, Java language. Like, most of the guys will say for loop, while loop, and do while loop. These are the loops you might be gone through in your programming languages, okay, C, Java, whatever. When it comes to the Linux shell scripting, we have while, we have for. That's it. There is nothing called do while, guys, okay. We have only 2 loops. Let's try to work on these loops, okay. Typically, what do you mean by loop is a set of statements, okay, a set of statements executed certain number of times iteratively, okay. So it will just like same set of statement, it will repeatedly execute for given number of times. That's called a loop, okay, and both loops does the same thing. So now let's see how the while is written, how the for is written, okay. I hope most of you guys know how the while is written. So this is what the syntax, okay. Some x is less than 10, floor braces, okay, echo x, something like this, okay, and then what do, you increment it. So this is how you write it, right? What exactly this while is doing, it will check this statement is true or false, okay, whether x is less than 10 or not. Suppose x equal to 1 you define, is 1 is less than 10, yes, it will come and print it, okay. The next x value 2, it will, okay. So first thing is, in this line it will first check the condition, okay. If it is true, then only it will enter into the block, while block, okay. If it is false, it will jumps back to the false, then come out from loop. That's a simple thing, okay. So this is what the false part. Now how many times it will iterate it? Look at this. First time it will 1, it will print it. Second time 2, second time 3. So it is going to break at certain time. When 10 is less than 10. Is 10 is less than 10? No, it's false. So it will come out. So sometimes you may write in a this kind of a one, okay. So x is what do you call, x is greater than or equal to 10, okay, and you said 10, uh, 11, okay. See, you know what will happen, this has become infinite loop. How you know? 11 is greater than 10, yes, true. Next 12, 12 is greater than 10, yes, true. 13, 14, always the number is greater than 10. This is an infinite loop, okay. So you should be able to like identify which is an infinite loop, which is a normal breaking loop, okay. Always write the breaking loops, never write the infinite loops. Infinite loops will eat up your entire processing memory, speed, everything, okay. Unnecessarily it will run, there is no use of it. So be careful while writing the loops. Don't get into the infinite loops, okay. You need to put the conditions, everything properly. Let's try to write the same thing in, this is a typical programming language. Now when it comes to the bash, okay, so how do you write a while loop in bash? While in a square braces, the condition do done, this is what the structure, that's it. Do done is like a flower basis, okay. So you have to write your code over here in the do done, okay. Let's try to write an example, then you'll understand much better. So somebody asked a question, just print 1 to 10 numbers, that's it, okay. Not like no echo 1, echo 2, echo 3, you have to write a proper logic. Tomorrow somebody asks 1 to 1000, will you write 1000 lines code, 1000 lines echo? No, right? So x equal to 1, I'm just choosing some variable. Now while $x is less than 10, and I told you never use this operator, use this operator because we are doing a numerical comparison. Do done. Now echo x value is $x, okay. Now can you guys tell me whether this is a proper loop or infinite loop? Is it a correct loop or infinite loop? Is it a breakable loop or infinite loop? Can you look at the loop and tell me, is it a infinite loop or a breakable loop? You can easily say that it's an infinite loop. If you want, I can run it and I'll show you. Can you see? Let's keep printing. It's an infinite loop. The reason why it is infinite loop is it will never come out because always the condition is true. If the condition is true, it will always execute this statement, okay. So you have to make the condition false at certain time. So to make that condition false at certain time, what you're supposed to do it, you have to change the x value. So typically x plus plus is nothing but incrementing the x value in programming language, but you don't have x plus pluses in the bash. So you do this expression $x plus 1, that's it. On it, you see this, x value is 1, x value is 2, x value is 3. So it's working fine and it's doing till 9 only. Why it is not doing 10? See, when it comes to 10, right, 10 less than 10, it will come out. So it will not print the 1. So if you wanted to even print the 10, right, what you can do it, you make it as a less than or equal to, then it will print the 10 as well. See, 10 it is printing, okay. Now quickly tell me, how can I print from 10 to 1? Okay, it's pretty simple. X value you decide 10, okay. Now 10 is greater than or equal to 1, okay. Yes, of course 10 is greater than or equal to 1, right. Now print it. Now you try to decrement the x value, okay. Now what will happen? Second time 9, third time 8, so finally it will come to 1, and when it comes to 0 it will to 1. Can you see 10 to 1, right? So this is how you can make it out, and you can put anything. It can be 10 or like 100 also. I mean anything is fine. So 100 to 1, okay. So this is what a while loop is. I just gave a very simple example, but if you want, like you can write proper loops actually. I mean, not it's a proper loop, but the thing is I didn't use much logic actually here. I'm just trying to show you the syntaxes, because logic you have to write it, okay. What kind of requirements you will be having it, I don't know exactly. So that you need to write a logic first, and once you have a logic, then you have to write the code, okay. So okay, now let's see some simple requirement, guys, okay. The simple requirement is print some even numbers, okay. Print some even numbers from 10 to 1, okay. So print some even numbers, nothing but what, Nothing. It's pretty simple. You, instead of subtracting 1, just subtract 2, then you will get the even numbers. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, right? So if you wanted like odd numbers, then make it as this 11, then you will get 11, 9 and all. Okay. Now, so this is a simple example for the while loop. Now let's see something for reading an input. Okay. Now I'll give a question to you. What we will do it? Read an input password which is more than 5 characters. Okay. Read it until he enters more than 5 characters. Okay. This is what a requirement. Read an input. It can be password anything. Read an input which is more than 5 characters. Okay. So read it until you you need to keep read it actually. Reading nothing but from the read input of the script. So let's see this. Read input dot sh. Okay. Echo enter an input. Okay. Now if you read it, let's say IP input. Okay. Now you need to count the number of characters, right? So how to count the number of characters? Count equal to, it's pretty simple. Echo dollar IP. You remember WC command? Use the WC command. Okay, that will give you the count. Now you can print the count. Echo count is dollar count. Okay. Now check whether it is printing that or not. Read. I entered hello. It should print 6 characters. Can you see 6 characters? Okay. So listen to my question properly. Read an input, okay, which is more than 5 characters. So always you should read the input which is more than character. Let me put it in a proper way, guys. Accept a string until accept a string from command line. Okay, if it is more than 5 characters. Okay, else prompt for string again. It's something like you entered a wrong password. It will ask you again, right? Enter the right password. Similarly, if somebody enters less than 5 characters, your script should prompt it again and ask for the string one more time. Okay. Now this time I entered hi. 3 characters. It includes a new line as well, so 3 characters. So it should not come out from the script. It should again and ask. Okay. It should keep ask. So to keep ask that, you can make use of a while loop, guys. While, okay, what you can do it, dollar count should be greater than or equal to 5. Always it should see if it is less than, if it is less than 5, okay, then what you can do it, echo enter input again, read IP. Okay, now once you read IP, you have to calculate the length, right? So to calculate the length, same thing. Copy. Okay. Right. Successfully enter more than 5 characters. Okay. Now this script will keep ask you until you enter more than 5 characters. Okay. Look at this. Read input.sh. Enter an input. Hi. How many enter? 2 characters. So it is again asking. Okay. Again asking. again asking you should enter more than 5. Okay, so now hello, you entered 7 characters, so it came out successfully entered more than 5 characters. So this is what the requirement, guys. So when you have this kind of requirements, you can make, see, while, read, wc command. So its only thing is how do you frame all your known things in a form of a bash script. Okay, so this is what the purpose of a typical loops, guys. Okay, now we are done with the while. Let's move on to the other loop called for. For loop. So typically for loop in a programming language, this is how you write it. Okay, first declaration I equal to 0, condition I less than some 5, and incrementation. Okay, then you write your statements here in floor braces, right? Blah 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 something. So this is what your typical for loop in your programming language. Now when it comes to the your uh, scripting part, shell scripting part, how the for is defined. The for is completely different in shell scripting compared to programming language. Okay, but in programming language your purpose is pretty much same. Okay, so how it is defined? For I in, and you can have a range of variables, a range of input. It can be anything. It can be like 1 2 3. Okay, it can be hi hello. Okay, do, done. You might be thinking what is this? Okay, this is like the set of inputs you are providing, feeding to your for loop. And what happens, this inputs is separated with the space. Okay, and your loop will be iterated with each time with one value. First iteration one value, I mean this value, second iteration this value, third iteration. So total how many iterations? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So total 6 times the loop will be iterated, and every time the I value will be assigned with the respective value. So first time I value is 1. Okay, first time I value is 1, second time 2, third time 3, fourth time high, something like this. Okay, so let's try an example, then you'll understand much better. We are for .sh. for loop. Okay, so what I will do, for I in, look at this, 1 2 3, hi hello, hi, do, done. There is no condition in a for loop. Remember, there is no condition, there is no incrementation. Everything is specified in the for loop itself. Okay, now echo I value is $i. Look at this, what will be the I value in each iteration, and look at the number of iterations as well. You see this, I value is 1, first iteration, I value is 2, second iteration, I value is high, third iteration. Did you see this? So it will iterate as many number of times as you provide the input with the space separated. Okay, so this is one example. Now if you wanted a sequential iteration, okay, so we can do that as well. 1 dot dot 10, so it will take it from 1 to 10. Okay, can you see this 1 to 10? But we don't use it for this kind of purposes. Actually we use it for generally like to have a variety of inputs. Okay, so you might be thinking what is the purpose of it. I'll tell you the purpose. Now I'll give you one good requirement, guys. Okay, now the good requirement is, see, look at this, there are certain number of files are there here. Okay, now somebody asked a question, could you please print the number of lines in each and every file? This is what my requirement. Okay, how to do that? Okay, so look at this. First of all, you want the number of lines in each and every file, right? So first of all, you should know what are all the files available. So how do you know what are the files available? ls command. Okay, the ls will give you the list of files, right? Now in I you have the file name, right? So I say file name is I. Okay, let's check whether it is getting the file name or not properly first. Can you see it is getting the file name? See what is there in your current directory, it is printing hello.sh. Now I got the file name. Now next thing is I need to count the number of lines in each and every file. So to count the number of lines in each and every file, you have a command called wc command. Okay, count equal to echo, sorry, not echo, you have to display cat $i, okay, wc minus l, right? This will give you the count, how many lines are there. Now what you can do it, you can print, okay, copy, do this thing, you do this first, okay, not right. What happened? Okay, we need to put the count as well. $count. Did you see this? File number 10, 0 lines, add.sh, okay, 9 lines, case.sh, 19 lines, further.sh, 8 lines. So this is a simple requirement, what you can do it with the help of this script. Think about this, guys, these kind of things, if you wanted to do it in the Java or C language, right, you have to write such a big code, you need to do so many things. But how many lines of code you written in shell scripting? Very, very lightweight, okay, hardly of like 4 to 5 lines, not more than that. So that's what the power of the bash shell. Okay, so you can do anything whatever you want with your system, only with the system, remember, okay, not with anything else. So this is all about the loops, guys. I gave an example with the loop, I gave an for loop and a while loop. Okay, there is no do while in the shell scripting, remember. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic of the scripting. So before moving and all, are you fine with the loops, both of you? Jagar and Hemant, did you understand the loops in shell scripting? The concept is same. Only thing is we are learning the syntaxes here. Okay. So Hemant, you can hear me, right? Okay, fine, no problem. So let's move on with the functions. Okay. So what do you mean by function? A function is a block of code. Okay. Block of code separated from main code. Okay. And is executed on call. Okay, so nothing but, see, typically if you wanted to have a functions, right, when do we propose functions is you have a program of like 200 lines, 300 lines, you are doing so much of logic and you are trying to repeat the some code n number of times. Okay, so in those scenarios what you can do it, you can make that code into a separate block and you can make use of that block for n number of times. Okay, so with that what you're going to gain is uh, reusability. This is what the most important. Reusability, nothing but you write only once but reuse n number of times. Okay, and modularity. So your program is pretty nice and easy to understand. Okay, so people who don't want to look into the logic and all, the logic you can move it into the functions and the flow you can write it in the main program. Okay, so modularity, reusability, these are the benefits of a functions, and it will the program or script which will look neat if you make use of the functions. Okay, so that's a concept in every programming language, scripting language. Same thing even in the shell as well. So let's see how to define a function in shell script. Okay, so we will write a block of code like this, function. Okay, and this is how you write a function definition, function declaration in your programming language, in your bash shell. Okay, finally you're using this curly braces in the bash shell, guys. Okay, so Let's see how you're, I mean, let's try with an example, then you'll understand much better. Okay, directly a function. Fund.sh. Okay, so what I will do it for this functions example. Let me take. You always declare the functions in the beginning, guys. Never declare after you. Never declare after using it. Okay. So I'm just declaring a function inside add function. Okay. Just some print statement. Now this is how you make use it. If you call add, right, okay, this will call this function. Okay, now let's try to run this and see. Sh fund.sh. Can you see this inside function it is printing? Okay, suppose you just comment it out. I'm not printing, I'm not calling any function. If you don't call any function, it will never be called. See, it is not executed, never be called. So functions code is not default executable. Okay, so functions code should be always called. Okay, now what I can do it, these functions. Okay, now I'll write a calculator program in the functions format. Okay, uh, total equal to expression uh, $1 plus $2. You might be thinking, what is $1, $2? Okay, now $1, $2 are the function parameters. You might be heard about function parameters, right? See, if you want to pass some parameters to function, you can pass them. Okay, so echo total is $. Now how to pass it? It's pretty simple. I want to pass 10 and 20 as parameters to my functions. Okay, and this 10 and 20 will be $1, $2. If you want to pass one more, that will be $3, $4. So that's how it will be taken. Can you see total value is 30 inside function? It's doing absolutely fine. Okay, so let's try to create multiple functions and create a calculator program. Addition, subtraction. Okay, now I'll not call this. I'll make use of a switch case. Okay, echo enter A, read A, echo enter B, read B, echo enter operation. Okay, so read OP. Now I'll make use of a case as well. Okay, case $OP in. If my case is add, okay, then I'll call the add function with $A, $B. That's it. Now look at this. I'm moving the logic to function now. I'm not writing the logic over here. I'm just calling the function. I'll call the subtraction function. Okay, $A, $B. That's it. And multiplication function. Okay, multiplication $A, $B. Okay, and if anything wrong he enters, and say, like, entered wrong param. Sack. Wrong choice. Okay, so let's do this as well. Multiplication, it's let's try to execute this. sh fund.sh. Enter A 123. Okay, 1233. Enter B 33. And operation is subtraction. Is it correct? 1200. It's working absolutely fine with the functions. Okay, now 34. 34 multiplication 1156. Okay, so this is how we make use of the functions, guys. Functions definition should be always defined in the beginning. Okay, and we have to make use of the functions once they're defined. Never write your main code in the beginning. Okay, it will never execute if you write in the beginning. Okay, if you want, I can give an example. Let's remove this add function from here. Okay, okay, now we'll move it at the bottom of the script after the main program. After the main program, if I define it here, let's see what will happen. Enter A12, enter B12, add. Can you see it is throwing an error? Add command not found. Nothing but there is no function defined. See, you have to define first. If it is defined at the bottom, your script will not read from the bottom. Okay. But now you look at the other one. 13, 12, subtraction. See, it's absolutely working fine. 13 minus 12, 1. So always the function should be defined in the beginning. This is all about the functions, plain function and function with a parameter. Guys, did you understand functions concept, how it is working in shell scripting? Concept is same across any language. We are just trying to learn the syntax over here. Did you get it? How the functions are working? Remember, all this we will be using, yeah, we will be using all of them while writing the deployment script. Okay, it's not only deployment script, any kind of automation you want to do with the Linux operating system, we better know all this. Okay, without knowing them, like, you cannot do any kind of automation. So the next topic, once the function is done in the bash shell, which is command line params, okay, and shell variables. Okay, so let's see command line params and shell variables. So yeah, most of the stuff we are done already. So, and remember, there is nothing called oops concepts in the shell scripting, because shell scripting won't support any oops, like, exception handling, multi-threading, okay, blah blah blah. You might be heard it in the C++ Java, right? So don't compare all of them. It's just a simple scripting language. Okay, you don't have all of them. So let's see what do you mean by command line arguments. Okay, this you might be see it in your C language, Java. Command line arguments, argv, args, right? So same thing here, but we don't have such a big words like that. So look at this, command.sh. So whosoever is entering a input with your script, okay, first command, that will be read as a $1, guys. If you want, you can cross check it. sh command, okay, hello, and hello is what your $1. Can you see this? First command hello, and if you say, like, children, can you see? So $1 is your first command. Okay, so that's how you read it. Now similarly, if you want to enter one more parameter, okay, and that is going to be $2. Okay, we can verify that. See, first parameter is Chiranjeevi, second parameter. So space is what your separator between the command line. So these are called command line arguments, and we have a command line arguments from $1 to, okay, $9. So you might be thinking, how, if suppose I want to pass 10th and 11th, okay, so if you want to pass 10th and 11th, look at this, what will happen? Echo 10th, $1, 0. Let's see whether it will print something or not. Okay, I'm passing the $3 as a Hyderabad. Okay, look at this, guys. Is it printing the 10th sorry, this will be the third parameter actually. It's not a 10th. So now what I will do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10th parameter is Hyderabad. It should print Hyderabad as the 10th parameter. But is it printing Hyderabad here? No, it is printing what? $1. Okay, so it is treating like, $10 it is treating like a $1 which is what? Chiranjeevi. Okay, and it is appending 0. That's wrong, absolutely wrong. So if you wanted to get it properly, so what you can do it, if you want to get the $10 properly, if it become 2 digits, you put flower braces. Can you see Hyderabad now? Okay, so this is how the command line parameters works. Now 11 and all is same thing, flower braces. Okay, so that's what you need to use. Next, shell variables. Okay, so $star, $@ $hash, dollar, question mark. Okay, so these are all shell variables, guys. These are the most important variables. In interviews and all, they'll definitely ask you which shell, these shell variables, what exactly they do it. Okay, so let me try to print those variables, then you will understand what exactly they are. Okay, it's pretty easy to understand. So just have a look at this. In the same command order such only. So I have printed 1 to 10, all of them, right? Now, okay, $star. What is this $star? Let's see. You try to enter this, the command and parameter. Did you see this? What do you mean by $star? It is printing all the parameters, whatever you give it. Everything it is printing. Okay? And similarly, there is one more is there. Echo $@ Okay? So what is $@? Let's see that as well. Did you see $star and $@ both are same? Okay, you might be thinking both are same, but actually both are not same. The output is same. Okay, but the output type is not same. The $star is a string, $@ is an array. Okay, now the thing is, I didn't explain you the arrays. I'll explain arrays. I missed the arrays actually. I'll explain the arrays later. For right now, just think like output is same, but $star is a string format and $@ is a array format. Okay, next. $hash. Okay, what happened? Okay, spelling mistake, guys. Echo. Can anybody tell me what is $hash? It is printing 10 there. What do you mean by 10? It's the number of command line parameters. How many you pass it? Now I'm removing the Hyderabad. How many I'm passing? 9. Okay. Now I'm removing the 9. How many I'm passing? 8. So it will print the number of command line parameters. Now it is printing only 2 because there are only 2 parameters I'm passing it. Okay. So that's the number of command line parameters. Next. $. What is $? You might be seeing 2880. Okay, you just see 2880, right? What do you think it is? Okay, so what exactly it is? It's a process ID. If you want, you can cross check it. PS-AF 2881. Okay, earlier one is what? 2880. Okay, now you try to run this. Now it will be 2882. The process ID will be increasing. Now this is what 2881. This is 2882. Okay, so it will get you the process ID. Next, the last parameter. Dollar, not dollar question mark. Let's try to run this and see what is it. It is printing 0. What exactly dollar question mark is? It will give you the exit status of your previous command. Okay. See, you don't need to run this dollar question mark in the, what do you call, script. You can check it over in the command prompt itself. Okay. Guys, look at this. ls. Is it a successful command or not? That you know it is successful. Okay. How your system will be storing its success. Okay. It will store its success in a variable called dollar question mark. Okay. If it prints 0, nothing but your previous command is successful. Now blah 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 blah. It's a failure command. Now you try to print dollar question mark, it will give you a positive value. Can you see 127 positive value? A positive value nothing but it's a failure command. A 0 nothing but success. Okay. So now let's see the same thing in the script. Your previous command is successful. That's the reason it is 0. Okay. Now let's make your previous command is a failure. Now assume like your previous command I removed the E here. Okay. Before dollar question mark. Now you try to run this. And can you see this dollar question mark? It's 127 because the previous command is failed. So this is called dollar question mark that will print the exit status of your previous command. If the status is 0, which is nothing but successful. If the status is a non-zero, which is nothing but a failure state. Okay. So with this, we are completed with the shell variables as well. Any questions with the shell variables? Guys, any questions with shell variables? I'll share all the scripts with you, don't worry. I'll download it to my machine and send it an email. So, did you understand the shell variables, command line variables and special variables? Hemant and Jagan, did you get it? Yep. Okay, so you have to practice it, guys. Without practice, it's gonna be difficult. So just do it one by one. Okay, look at the things and practice it. And I'm going to give you some exercises in the form of a documentation. So once you get practice and try to perform those exercises, then only I would say you will get a good hands-on. Otherwise, just by listening the session, it seems to be okay. But when it comes to the practical, yeah, I'll share that. Don't worry. Okay. So, but when it comes to the practical world, you cannot do it without having a hands-on. So the last topic of the shell scripting is arrays. I'll just do the complete the arrays and finish it off with the scripting part. So that tomorrow's session we can write the script for deployment automation. Okay. So arrays, array.sh. Actually, we should cover arrays first, then this variables later. I missed it. So typically an array is a collection of elements. Okay. We will write array like this. Hi, hello. It can be anything. Okay. 67 ABC. Right. Now how to print the array? Okay. ARR is dollar floor braces ARR of. This will print the entire array, guys. As such array.sh. Look at this. This is how it will print it. Okay. Now suppose if you want a particular element, I want only the first element of an array. It's like normally your C language arrays only. Okay. So first element is a 0th element. So 0 is nothing but index of an array. Okay. So first element starts from the 0. So I want to print hi. Can you see? Is it not doing that? Just a second, guys. Echo first element 0. This is at the rate. It's printing total, right? So something wrong. I think it should be double quotes. think might be a space, not comma. Yes, sorry guys, I was mistaken. It should be a space separated in this braces. That's how you need to declare it. Now array of 0, it is printing high. If you look at it, the first one, the first element, okay, high it is printing. Now if you want to print a particular element, like third element, see, when I say 3, it will not print the third element, it will print the fourth element because it starts from the 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, so it should print the 67. See, 67. So you can get individual one, you can get entire array, okay. And somebody asked a question, could you please print the length of an array? What is the length of an array? So length nothing but total how many elements are there. Dollar array, you put this hash. Can you see 5? The length is 5. So this is what the total list of array elements, and this will print the length. So if you put a hash, it will give you the length of it. So total 5 elements are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not index guys, it will count the number of elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And you know what, you can iterate a array as well if you want. Okay, look at this. In a for loop, I in, okay, so array at the date, okay, do echo I is $I, done. Now see this sh array.sh. See how it is returning hi, hello, 10, 10. It is iterating. So you can perform some iteration operations with a for loop using arrays as well. Okay. So this is all about the arrays and its syntax, guys. Look at the script. If you want, you can just have a look at it. So only the difficult part of this is remembering the syntax is a little bit difficult. It's not like very hard. You have to practice it. If you practice it, it's not a big deal at all. You can keep writing the script. So for you to get it practiced well, okay, instead of blindly following my session and practicing it, I'll try to give you some examples. Okay, so read this example and try to sort out those problems. Okay, that will be best way of solving. See, take a problem and solve it. Don't learn the things and solve it. Okay, take a problem and solve it, then it will be easier. SCM training material. I think I would already send this with a Linux notes itself. You can I'll show you where exactly you can find that. SCM, yeah, Linux and shell scripting, right? So in this PDF you can find somewhere at the bottom the assignment. Yeah, these are all the scripts. Okay, now this is what, so take this an example. So think somebody asked this question in the interview, how to answer this in shell script. See, write a script to find sum of two numbers, which we already did it. Okay, write a script to do the factorial of given number. See, it requires a loop. Okay, and write a script to accept a string which is less than 10 characters. If it is more than 10 characters, this we already did actually with 5 characters. Okay, so similarly there are some questions out there. I want you to go through all these questions and try to solve them by writing a script. That's the best way of learning. Okay, so before doing this, I want you to look at my video again, or whatever the scripts are written, you have to write it by your own. Okay, once that is done, then come back to this assignment. Okay, don't blindly go here, because you need to remember the syntaxes of all of them, right? So just try to understand the syntaxes first with the basics, then come back to exercises and do this. And once you finish these exercises, if you want to do a lot, okay, so you can just go to the Google and you can find a number of scripts and number of requirements, and if you want more, I can give it to you. Okay, so this I already sent to you. Just check it out your emails. It's a Linux email actually. Linux session day I sent this actually. It's a part of the Linux only. So that's it for today, guys. So I'm pretty much done with the shell scripting part. Tomorrow what we will do it, we will try to write a full-fledged script to deploy our, see why we learned this ultimately, to to perform the deployment automation. You go back a little bit. See, we are learning the scripting part to perform the deployment process automation. So now whatever the manual deployment is taking time, right? That manual deployment steps will try to automate with the bash shell script. Okay. So let's see how to automate this to bash shell and all in the tomorrow session, right? Okay. Don't miss tomorrow session. It will be quite interesting because now whatever you learn, you will be implementing it. So tomorrow is a project for you. Till now you learn some basics. Okay. So something like that. So just that will give you a kind of a experience to you where in the real world how to write scripts for real-time problems. Okay, so don't miss this tomorrow session. We'll try to write a script for that. Any questions still here? Any questions? I'll share the video for sure, don't worry about it. Do you have any questions in today's session? Hemant and Jagan, are you good? Okay, yep. So thanks so much guys. We'll catch up tomorrow. I'll share you the videos in a while. Okay, thank you guys. I'll share the scripts as well. See you then. Good night.